based on interviews by members of our theater company soon after the incidents at Manchester, California of February 2022. The interviews were filmed. Tonight's performances are based on those interviews, as well as on available primary sources, including letters, newspaper articles, recordings, and security camera footage.
Should I start?
We're already rolling.
Okay, so I'm just going to start with the story. When I was much younger, way before I was involved with law enforcement, I had this idea. I wanted to be an artist, and this was New York. I lived in a fifth floor walk-up, tiny studio, and I'm trying to be a painter, so I'd wait tables during the day, and I'd stay up late doing watercolors. I'd stay up till 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and that was how I noticed I had this neighbor. I'd hear his alarm go off at 3:30, and he'd say, "Not again." Then at exactly 4:15, I'd hear him open his door and descend down the stairs. But I never saw him. One night, I couldn't stand it anymore. I had to see what this guy looked like, so at exactly 4:15, I went to my own front door. The door had this big peephole about this big with a metal plate you had to slide aside to look through. I turned off my own light, slipped it aside, and pressed my eye against the peephole. And I screamed. An involuntary scream that comes out like that. It's very different. It's not like a movie scream. It was like a ah! So I scream and I fall down against my bathroom door. Huge commotion as I hit the floor. Because what had happened was, I looked through that peephole and I saw an eye. But he was looking in at me. I'm on the floor and I just freeze. Finally, from the other side of the door, I hear the sound of this guy picking up his keys and descending them down the stairs. Now I had to see what he looked like. Pick myself up, press myself against the door, and once again look through. There's that eye, again! It's mine. It's the reflection of my own eye. I realized it just in time to see this freaked out postman heading down the stairs. That was the most scared I've ever been, and it was just me scaring me. The only other time I heard that scream, what a real scream sounds like, was when I heard 241 people make it all at once. I told that story to Candelaria, and she said, "You're missing part of the lesson. There's more than one thing that scared you." It was mostly about being startled, but what was the first thing you did? You turned off the light switch. People are naturally scared of the dark. When I was 8, I lived in a house in Dunbar, North Carolina, near Kendall Avenue, the main shopping street. It was a tall house, and from my window, it was a tall house, and from my window, I could see a billboard. It was an ad for Diet Coke. 2 guys and a girl clowning around with each other, all exaggerated like. I loved that. To me, it was a picture of infinity. It was the first time I encountered recursion. Models acting like people, acting like models. When the incident happened at the Oak Box, they wanted you to understand it from every level. Criminal, psychological, biological, and philosophical. That's why they brought me in.
We have this. I have this picture. We were on our way to church, and everybody looked so nice that I lined us up with a timer and took one. Me with my arms squeezing the 3 of them. And before I could take the next one, I looked at it. It was a miracle shot. It was like the Hail Mary of impromptu photos. So I had it printed, 8 by 10, and I put it in a frame. The frame, though, that little cardboard leg that bounces, it broke. So instead of using that, it was leaned up against the wall on the top of the cabinet. That night, all 3 kids were heading to
just in time. The kitchen sink's a disaster. I'm a contractor, not a plumber. But I said okay. After 5 minutes, I said it's either gonna be the clog or the show. You okay blowing out the show? And he said sure, and then we can get a drink afterwards. I said okay, but we're gonna pretend we went to the show.
So I'm brand new at this job. I mean, it's my 4th day ever as a detective, and I really want to do a good job, but I can already tell that I'm not. And it's stupid things. Being new in a place gets in your way in ways you don't expect. Why are there 2 conference rooms with the same name? The fax machine. Do you press 9? Do you not press 9? And people are not. Just edit this part out, please. People are not as nice to me as I would be in their situation. And I can't even tell where the paper goes in this fax machine.
It was a printer.
So, for the most part, I'm thinking, how could things get any worse? And then the whole incident starts, and things get worse and worse and worse.
Me and Mary Wriggle on the ridge below the oak box, just talking of the world, when suddenly there's this crazy loud sound. It sounded like a foghorn. It sounded like it came from the oak box, and Mary said that it must have been part of the play.
I am a forensics engineer. If a bridge collapses, or a dam gives way, or people get trapped in a fire, my job is to figure out what went wrong. Some of these cases are famous. The Hartford Circus Fire in 1944 killed 168 people. The Great White Fire in 2003 killed 100. One of the things you pay attention to is what happened with the doors. One of these fires, another famous fire, was in Chicago in 1903. The Iroquois Fire. It was right after Christmas, and so kids were out of school, and the whole theater was full of families. All 3 levels and even standing room on the 2nd. A curtain had caught fire, and what had happened was the first people to get to the doors realized half a second too late that the doors opened in. So the people behind them panicked, crowded them, and so they couldn't get the doors open because they were squashed against them with the hinges going the wrong way. One of the things you notice about a door that's trapped people is that there are scuff marks halfway up because the impulse is to kick. If there's more time, you'll find dent marks, sometimes big ones, where someone got a fire extinguisher or a dresser, something heavy. But the incident at the oak box, I've never seen anything like it. You looked at those doors and you just thought, what the hell?
I get home. My wife runs out the door and throws her arms around me. And I have no idea what's going on, but it's clear that I shouldn't say. Oh, we're at the play, then we got a drink afterwards. And she says to turn on the news. I'm expecting Channel 2, but she turns on CNN.
I'm not surprised that they found me, but I am surprised that they thought to look. My name is Rick Knock-Baylor. I'm an assistant professor at the University of Minnesota. I study fear.
I'm not sure. Is it life-threatening? Yes. Are you asleep right now? No. I'm sending someone. More than one. There's cars already on the way. What's your name, Chica? Angela. Angela. I'm sending them to the Oak Box. Is that right? Yes. And there's a play tonight. The high school's doing the play. Is that where you are? Yes. In the theater? Yes. And somebody's hurt? Everybody. Who's that again? Where are you in the theater? I'm just standing on the stage. Take a very, very deep breath.
None of it made any sense. All of a sudden, this tiny town is the site of a tragedy nobody's ever seen or heard of. 241 people fall unconscious while watching a high school play the program tells us is called Trap. We don't have many events from the timeline. We know that the people are fine at 11 after 8 because that is when the usher texts her older brother to come pick her up after the show. She then turns off her phone and enters the theater. At 9:10, 2 kids sitting on a ridge below the theater hear what they think is a foghorn, but they assume it's part of the play. at 9:22, we get the 911 call. A girl named Angela Lure, who it turns out is the only person still left conscious. When we finally get her out of there, she won't talk. She either doesn't know what happened, or she's too scared to say it.
The oat box was international news. I was hiking in the hills near Clovis, New Zealand when I heard about it. People falling unconscious in a theater. Now that was the key. I had conflicting thoughts. At first I thought, how horrible. But then I thought, there it is. There's our proof.
I didn't find out about it until it was on every single channel. I get that weird feeling you get when you see something on TV that's right in your neighborhood. The oat box? Again? This can't be a coincidence. I remember everyone saying that was 77 years ago. But I remember thinking, I don't care if it was 77 years ago. One theater and two tragedies. There's gotta be a connection.
Manchap Herald, March 19th, 1946. Bond measure 2A. Funding to build a new theater palace on Semper Bluff passed with 54% of the vote. According to Mayor Roger Wegman, we intend to use this money to build a new theater that will bring visitors to Manchap from all over the country. The search for an architect is set to begin immediately.
From architect Brandy Hillock's winning bid for the Manchap Theater project. Theaters have soaring spaces, fly spaces, where the scenery can be pulled up from out of view. My plan extends the metaphor of flight throughout the building. At the sides, half arches will rise like wings lit from within. My hope is that the building will be known far and wide as the Manchap Angel.
Manchap Herald, April 1st, 1947. Ground was broken yesterday on the Manchap Angel, our city's 700-seat theater. Mayor Roger Wegman overturned the ceremonial first shovelfuls of earth, and then declared that this new theater will be a boon to our economy, and even more to our students.
Letter from Norma Pike to Adelaide Pike, April 3rd, 1947. My dear sister, I miss you. I miss you. And there's no one anywhere in Manchap I can tell this to, but I'm disgusted with myself. I had Jonathan all to myself for 3 hours and I said nothing. We had dinner at Chauncey's cream room, but it was somber. You know, Jonathan's been so quiet ever since Pat moved to San Francisco. Why do men have such few friends? He didn't talk and I couldn't think of anything else to talk about except the question. I simply wasn't brave enough to ask it.
Manchap Herald, April 4th, 1947. 3 days in, construction halted on the Manchap Civic Theater. Gymnastic techniques have shown that the granite bedrock on Semper Bluff is twice as thick as previously believed. This delay will be a few weeks at most.
Norma Pike to Adelaide Pike, May 25th, 1947. He said yes! Adelaide, I can't tell you how happy I am. Saturday night, we walked up on the bluff. We stared out at the lights of the ships, and when he looked away, I bent down on one knee. I held out Grandfather's wedding band, and he said in that cute accent, "What are you doing?" And I said, "What does it look like I'm doing, silly? That's not how it's done." I said, "Jonathan, we're going to be married for at least 50 years. No one needs to know how it began." Adelaide, I feel lit from within, electrified. Oh, but this time, I promise, not in a bad way. Oh, must rush off. The Craddies are coming over, so I have to buy another sofa.
Manchap Herald, May 31st,
1947. Little blue boy vanishes. 10-year-old Marcus Tumble was reported missing by his parents Tuesday night. He was playing with his cousins on the beach below Semper Bluff, said his father Guillermo, and he didn't come back. Marcus is 5 feet 2 inches tall, was wearing white shorts and a long black sweater. He's missing a front tooth.
Letter from North Pike to Adelaide Pike, June 2nd, 1947. My apologies for not being clearer on the topics of the Crowleys and the sofa. Last week, I was sure that Jonathan would rebuff my proposal. It drove me positively frenzied. The morning before I proposed, I was alone in the house. And I banged the south wall of the living room as hard as I could with my shoe. I did it again, and again, and again, and again, until I was calm. The sofa arrived just in time, and I was able to blame the movers for the dents in the wall.
Manachap Herald, June 5th, 1947. Yesterday, by a vote of 5 to 4, the Board of Supervisors had authorized new blueprints for the Manachap Civic Theater. They've had to abandon the idea of wings.
Letter from Norma Pike to Adelaide Pike, June 7th, 1947. My dear sister, every moment of every day is the happiest time of my life. The only shadow is that it is so easy to tip Jonathan into silence. You know, he got so quiet after we made the joke about the Kilty Award to the Scottish Festival. Then yesterday I said, darling, please don't misconstrue this, but I'm glad your business failed. Finally, you're all mine.
Los Angeles Times, September 2nd, 1941. For the first time in history, members of the classic farming community of Manchester, California are locking their doors. Disappearance of 10-year-old Marcus Tumble has unsettled this town an hour and a half north of Santa Barbara. Marcus disappeared while at a family reunion beneath an area known as Center Bluff. In the lack of plausible natural causes, residents are looking at each other warily. Marcus's mother, Thea, finds it suspicious that he should go missing on the day of the Scottish Festival. All these men you've never seen before, walking around town wearing dresses. The police say there's no evidence, but I don't need evidence.
Manachap Herald, September 24th. Man arrested in Marcus Tumble case. Police on Thursday have announced they've taken into custody the suspect in the case of the missing 10-year-old Marcus Tumble. The man in custody is 33-year-old
Jonathan! September 24th, Adelaide, put Jonathan in jail. It's unbelievable. They're saying he has something to do with the boy who went missing. It's ridiculous. They won't even say why they suspect him.
Letter from Gandermain Esquire to Samson Bonet Esquire. The trial proceeds well. On the stand, Mrs. Tumble pointed to a scratch on the float ring that was in Mr. Maw's furniture. She positively identified it as the float ring that had belonged to her son. But Mrs. Tumble is not our only ally. Watch the jury as they watch Miss Pike. When her fiancé grimaces, she grimaces. When he looks downcast, so does she. She impeaches herself as a character witness. She will be desperate to testify on his behalf. We must not appear too eager.
Excerpt from the transcript of the trial at the courthouse by the sea. Cross-examination of Jonathan Lewis.
So the float ring that you had, you claim to have picked it up on the beach. Is that right?
Yes.
And why would you do that?
I don't know, I just did.
Were you afraid you might drown?
Laughter in the courtroom.
Objection!
Sustained.
So on the afternoon of May 30th, the afternoon that Marcus Tumble disappeared, you claim to have been taking a long walk, a 4-hour walk on the beach. Is that right?
Yes.
Were you in the habit of taking 4-hour walks in the middle of the workday?
No.
Have you ever taken such a walk?
No.
Did anyone see you?
It was a weekday afternoon.
You work at Monty Limited Shipping and Transcription, is that right? As a typist.
Yes.
And how long has that been your employment?
3 weeks.
3 weeks, yet you felt comfortable taking 4 hours off?
I needed to think about the world, my place in the world.
And you took this walk without telling me, Mr. Moss?
I wrote a note saying I wasn't feeling well.
And who did you give this note to?
I meant to give it to Mr. Clark, my supervisor. But I found it later in your pocket.
Manachap Herald, November 12th. Verdict announced. Swift justice. After deliberating for only 5 hours, the Jonathan Moss jury announced a guilty verdict on the count of kidnapping, and guilty as well on the count of murder. There was a commotion in the front row, and Moss' fiancée began to wail so loudly that she had to be forcibly removed from the courtroom. But the murderer would never spend 1 minute behind bars. In an extraordinary scene, the boy's father and 3 armed men made their way to the courthouse by the seat of the transcripts. From there, the assailants grabbed Mr. Moss and dragged him into the ocean, where they held his head under the water until he was still. A witness later reported that the incident confirmed Moss's guilt, as he made not a move to free himself and allowed himself to be held under without a struggle. November 17th, body of child found. Construction workers at the site of the Civic Theater uncovered the body of a child. Marcus Tumble was purported to be found underneath a trap door along the Lake Theater. It's a 1 in a million tragedy, said construction supervisor Clifton Nails. The theater was sealed for safety, but one of the lower windows had come unlatched. He must have climbed in. From there, he appears to have peered into the still shallow trapdoor. When that heavy door fell shut, he wouldn't have had a chance. Manachap Herald, February 1st.
Los Angeles Times, February 2nd.
Time Magazine, February 7th.
The opening night of our Civic Theater was home to the most extraordinary spectacle ever witnessed by this community.
The long-awaited opening of the Manachap Civic Theater will long be remembered.
3 months after the discovery of a boy beneath the still under construction trap of the theater.
The tragedy known to every member of our town.
The opening of the theater was finally underway.
With the night drenched in its sudden squall, the capacity audience snatched their umbrellas, shook off their coats, eager to put the events of the past few months out of their hands.
The audience watched, rapt as Medea, passionately played by the actress Lenya Rasmussen, called her children to her breast one final time. But as Medea wailed her vengeance, Norma Pike, fiancée of the unfortunately accused Jonathan Morris, entered the theater dressed in all green.
That's a dress for a costume.
Dressed like the ocean,
She held him off the glass.
tall and green, full of liquid.
Held it high like a torch had proclaimed.
Welcome to this theater. Your theater.
The audience would later report that they believed it to be a part of the play.
This ugly box of a theater will become famous, but not in the way you hoped. No one will ever think of this dank shell of oak without thinking of the 3 people who died because of it. The boy, it suffocated. The man, murdered because of the boy, and the woman, who cursed the theater for all time by drowning in it.
Some looked away, others wished they had us.
She brought the glass to her mouth and tipped it back.
Poured it straight into her throat.
Aspirated the entire contents of the glass.
Swallowed it without swallowing.
Her eyes poured the audience until they went dark, and she fell dead to the floor.
In front of 700 people, Miss Pike drowned herself with a glass of seawater.
Page 79 of Haunted California by Naomi Sanderson. In the years following the triple tragedy, dozens of people, wounded sweethearts, schoolboy daredevils, all gazed up into a single micro window in the theater lobby and seen a figure. Sometimes it was a boy trapped, afraid. Other times it was a man, eyes closed, resigned. But on the rare occasions that storm watchers would find themselves overtaken and dreaded, the figure illuminated by the lightning flash was a woman. She holds aloft a sea green goblet and smiles an invitation.
Drink with me. When the incident happened in the oak box, they wanted to know, why Manachap? Why the oak box? My theory was they picked a place where there was fear built in just like we do. I mean, everybody knows the story of Norma Pike. It's a local tragedy. On an inverse, really, I googled scary theaters. It was the top result. 4 terrifying theaters. Kansas Theater, Melbourne City, Australia, Manila Film Center, Kansas City, Philippines, Theatre Royale, Berlin, London. And there it was. 4th out of the 4. I got chills because I realized that's why they picked the oak box.
that Sunday morning, 18 hours after the Oak Box incident. 236 audience members and 5 members of the cast on the ground, breathing, thank God, but 2 mysteries. What had happened to those people? That was the main question, of course, but second was the doors. How could we make sense of those doors?
Could you tell us your names, please?
I'm Abhishek Lenser, Chief Forensic Engineer with the California Department of Infrastructure.
Ephraim Salas. I'm a firefighter with Station 41, Manchap County.
My name is Issa Fuente. I'm a neurobiologist at UC Berkeley.
I was the first one to the theater that night. I saw the girl on stage and I'm the one who carried her out. But before I picked her up, she said something we couldn't figure out. 4 words.
The first thing I noticed about the bodies in the Oak Box was the lack of something called relative resonance. It's the tendency of people in tragic situations to cluster. After a fire, you'll find the bodies of friends holding each other, or a parent will be wrapped around a child. But the bodies in the Oak Box were different. People who weren't related sometimes fell on top of each other. People who loved each other in life sprawled in different directions.
Theater camera 1.
What about this girl, Sarah West? She was also the door. Was she leaving early?
No, look at the way she fell. She was running.
She had earbuds in. She wasn't paying attention to the play.
Can you tell me what she was listening to?
Sure. It's classical. Gymnopedie number 1.
Gymnopedie number 1 by Eric Satie.
Yeah.
Something else is strange. H. Something wrong?
I didn't know you knew my name.
Is there anything peculiar you notice about the positions of the bodies?
The programs. So many people are holding them.
That's what I noticed too.
Holding them like this, like they've been trying to read them up until the last second.
It was the speed that threw me. What could overcome that many people that fast? Maybe it was an electrical impulse, or maybe it was a gas that had overcome them. We scoured the ventilation system. There was nothing.
I was in the theater a lot. I wanted to spend time with her.
I said to the fireman, any thoughts on what could have overcome these people so fast?
How do you know it was fast?
He said, of course it was fast.
That's when they brought me in. Figuring out how long a body has been unconscious is actually not that hard to do if you have the right equipment. When a person loses consciousness, the body temperature drops by 2.5 degrees. But that takes a while, so we attached electrodes to their foreheads, microthermometers. What we found was a surprise, to say the least.
It didn't make any sense.
The first one to fall was Paul Schmidt in CA13. Next was Anna Stroheim 3 rows back in B41. The first 26 people didn't lose consciousness all at the same time. They went down one by one.
They said, are you sure of this?
Theater camera 1 continues.
I'm positive. Look at this. It's the seating chart for the Oak Box. A13, D41. What do you notice?
Nothing.
Next was F42.
So front row, aisle, then the other side of the aisle.
Then L19, Lego spray jet.
The back of row L is at the horizontal aisle in the middle. So it started at the front, then the back, then the sides.
Exactly. It works that way up until the 26th person. Franklin James.
I know Frank.
Whatever happened to these people, it started at the worked its way in. Like something.
This doesn't seem like a natural phenomenon. It seems like attackers.
Agreed.
241 people fall unconscious one by one, like they got snuck up on. But that doesn't make sense because they could see every other person falling over. There's no... I don't see how humans could do this.
Meaning what?
I'm not sure.
Hey, can you guys shut up for a second? Did you hear that? There.
I don't hear anything.
There. I have really good hearing. Because I lived in Alaska, your ears are always covered. It's like a chirp. Again, over here. The bodies are making a sound.
Which bodies? Sunday morning, we had 2 mysteries. On Sunday afternoon, we had 3. What had happened to those people? What were the sounds Ethan was hearing? And again, the doors. Those people had 45 minutes to leave, and those doors were wide open.
This was our wrap-up today by events in a small California town.
On our top story tonight, a mystery.
Un evento misterioso.
On Monday morning, we had sent up the footage. The tips came flooding in. By noon, we had messages from 5 continents. I pulled investigators from other counties to check out every single lead.
I got the slush pile. It was bigger than all the others combined and had more crazy than I knew was in the world.
I read a book once about intelligent monkeys.
Stop seeing those dead people on TV.
Are they moving it up? Are they twitching?
Stop showing those bodies on TV. It disturbs me.
My name's Jasper, so you know you can
I'll
trust me.
help you if you help me.
Something like this just happened to me.
I recognize the one on the
That
left.
must have been one boring play. Transcript of a call from Seattle, Washington to the Oak Box Hotline. October 7th, 7:32 p.m.
Oak Box Hotline.
Hello, my name is Marion J. I'm a professor at the University of Washington. And what I'm about to say will sound crazy.
Uh-huh.
Is this a secure line?
Yes. Why?
I'm gonna tell you something, but you have to promise not to hang up on me.
I can't promise that.
You've got a theater full of people who've fallen unconscious.
Yes.
And by now you've probably figured out that they were attacked one by one.
How did you know that?
I think you're dealing with something called Faranox.
Faranox? What are Faranox?
Start with what they're not, which is human.
Now I'm gonna hang up.
Are all your victims still alive?
Yes.
Well, they won't be if you hang up. You have less than a week before their hearts start to stop.
Faranox.
They're not human, but they look human.
Why haven't I heard of that?
Hello? Sorry, I thought I heard something. You haven't heard of them because they don't want you to, and because the attacks are very rare. Faranox are like locusts. They attack every 16 years. The last attack was in Gulspec, Scotland in 2007. There's an attack in Iceland 16 years before that, and then 16, and then 16. This is a swarming behavior. The creatures attack, mate, and then they all die. All but one, a caretaker who watches over the larvae as they grow. And what that means is that all Faranox are 16 years old, except for one.
Okay. Thank you. We made notes of your call and we'll get back to you if necessary.
Were there an unusually high number of new students at Manitowoc High School this year?
Yes.
And at least one teacher.
The theater teacher.
What happened to the old one?
She died?
Suddenly, and with no apparent cause.
Yeah. Why wouldn't anyone else have heard of these things?
Oh,
What?
nothing. My house must have blown a fuse. I can't see a thing. There are 4 of us who are trying to hunt Faranox, but at the same time, they're hunting us. And of course, they have an advantage.
Which is what?
They know for sure that we exist.
Who are the other 3 people studying them?
There's a zoologist in Colombia named Keda Muguruza. There's an evolutionary biologist named Melissa Tang, and a professor at the University of Toronto. He studies fear. Who's there? Who's there?
Then I heard a click.
Call ends at 7:37.
I tried to call back, but it wouldn't go through. I sat in the call room thinking I had a choice to make. I could march into Sergeant Rock's office and say, I know it sounds crazy, but I might be onto something. Or I could move on to the next call. The thing was, even though I knew it was ridiculous, I believed him. But I was new at work and I was already screwing up. I moved on to the next call.
At first, we didn't understand what we were studying. Hunting. As it turned out, The key had already been discovered by a Bolivian named Kita Muguruza. She and her postdoc Abilio Penti had won the 2019 Nobel Prize in Biology for their work.
Estábamos estudiando algo que la gente había notado durante siglos.
We noticed something people have been studying for centuries.
Se llama el enigma de la Buddha.
It's called the black widow conundrum. When an insect gets caught in a black widow's web, the spider doesn't attack straight away. Instead, it follows a particular, more ritualized pattern of movement. The struggling moth knows that something approaches slowly. The spider moves herself into view, large, black, shiny. The insect panics, jerking the web up and down as the spider lifts her forelegs, revealing a blood-red hourglass. The insect's fear is drenched into the webs for the spider, and the spider fits in.
It's a brilliant evolutionary strategy because it's a way to get nourishment from a different kind of animal. Every other predator on the planet feeds on the meat of its prey. These creatures subsist on the powerful chemicals secreted by animals who are terrified. They feed on fear.
A creature that feeds on fear is different than one that feeds on flesh. If terror is what sustains you, then you need to create it. So the Ferronox don't chase their prey, they trap it.
The Venus flytrap and the black widow are the two most famous ferronox, a plant, an insect. But then there was an evolutionary jump.
The idea that a species of Ferronox was capable of mimicking humans is so hard to get over that we had to take a step back and ask not, how could this happen, but why? Why would a creature prey on humans when there are thousands of other creatures that are easier to prey on?
Evolution follows the prey. The juicier the prey, the more cleverly trapped. Ferronox chosen prey, their only prey, are the creatures on Earth most susceptible to fear.
Human brains have evolved in a way that makes them incredibly good at seeing threats. Is that a snake in the grass or just a branch? Was that sound a lion or just thunder? All this fear helped keep us alive for 100,000 years. But as we emerged from the jungle, our capacity for worry didn't go away. It just repurposed itself. So instead of worrying about being eaten by a tiger, we worry about tomorrow's math test.
All the anxiety produces uses to us, but from a Ferronox point of view, it makes us the equivalent of a large, slow-moving steak.
From the obituary for Marion Jay, professor of neuroscience at the University of Washington. Professor Jay was well liked and well respected, and his passing has thrown a cloud over the campus. Professor Jay is survived by his parents, Martin and Pandela Jay, and by his grandmother, Thelma Lanson.
Interview with Kenosha Llewellyn Johnson, October 5th, 2022, 8:15 a.m., Manashap High School, 2nd floor, counseling office.
And do you know why you're here today, Kenosha?
Because of yesterday.
Can you be more specific?
Because of what happened in the woods.
We're here because of what you told people happened in the woods.
It happened.
You talked to a lot of people yesterday, and you told them all the same story.
Yes?
Is that story something you're sure is true? Or is it possible that you could have made some of it up?
It was all true.
That's why we're here today, Kenosha. Because that story about what happened in the woods, that story couldn't possibly have happened.
Kenosha came out of the womb perfect, but when she was 3 weeks old, she had a seizure. And you could tell right away that something had changed.
I remember Kenosha's first day at Manachap because she'd gone up to the audition board, only the string of the pencil was broken, so there was no way to put your name on it. And I said, if you want to audition, I've got a pen. And she said, my name is Kenosha R. Llewellyn Johnson.
So, the joke very quickly went around that the R.
The R.
The R.
The R was to distinguish herself. To distinguish herself from all the other Kenosha Llewellyn Johnson.
The kids of old school could be so mean, but the trap was supposed to be a fresh start.
Thinking back, it was a bad start, 'cause you always had that in the back of your head. You had, like, a little bit of distance.
Kenosha had all the right emotions. lot. There's too much going on. What do you do with your hands? Do you look up or down? She couldn't calibrate the information.
One time, she told me she couldn't go to homecoming with me because her uncle was an astronaut. I wasn't actually going to ask her, but it still made me feel bad.
I'd give her lessons. I'd say, the situation is, you're 2 hours late and I've been trying to reach you. I'm angry and I'm frantic. Go. And she'd go blank. And I'd say, now you tell me your phone ran out of juice. And she was awful. And I told her, Kenosha, you have got to master this thing. You're going to have the most boring teenage years of anybody on earth.
The bench incident really was an accident. You know those long tables with those long benches? And Kenosha was sitting there all alone. So I came up to the other side and asked if anyone was sitting there. And she says, no. So I picked up the bench and moved it over to our tables so we could fit more people. Of course, long term, it actually worked out in her favor, because that's when Clifton went over her.
Clifton? Oh, where to start? Clifton's kind of perfect.
I think that is. He's really, really nice.
So kind, so sweet.
We don't have like homecoming queens or kings or any sort of other prop royalty, but if we did, he'd be both kings.
He just walked over and asked if we could sit with her.
Anything that made me go over to her? There was one thing actually. When I saw her for the first time, her phone rang, and she didn't even look at who it was, but she made herself smile, and when she answered the phone, you could hear it in her voice.
Next thing you know, I look in the cafetorium and she's making him laugh.
Most of the time, she was hilarious on purpose, but not always. Once I was laughing so hard.
His head literally hits the table.
Once she told me, I like you more than water.
You'd see them everyone together. He'd laugh and put his arm around her neck.
I couldn't tell if it was romantic or not. So it's barely a week into school, and the new girl is standing in front of the audition board. Only the string with the pencil was broken.
I had wanted to be in a play, so I did some research and found the best book about acting, which is Uta Hagen's Respect for Acting. It's pretty famous and it's great. You should read it if you're interested in acting at all.
We had talked about Kenosha being involved in theater because I thought she'd be rather good. She's very good at mimicking emotion. So I told her, well, sweetheart, go for it.
Kenosha, that story that you told so many people, it made some of those people anxious. It scared them.
Did they cancel the play?
No. Did it scare them enough? Why do you want that play canceled?
Something bad is going to happen.
What's gonna happen? Can you tell me that?
It was really early for the fall play to be happening, but we just went with it. We figured it had something to do with the Miss Pendulum tragedy.
Marsh Pendulum was one of my best teachers. Such a shock. Just 2 days before the start of school, when bang! Dropped dead of a heart attack. She was 38, didn't smoke, exercised. You know how that just happens sometimes.
The day of the audition, she comes home and she burst through the doors, and I said, how'd it go? And she said, I nailed it.
I saw her audition, and she was really good, but I told her you never know.
The next day, she calls me from the school, and she's talking very fast, and she says, I didn't even come. And I said, well, sweetheart, sometimes this happens. You don't get everything you expect. And she said, but I was the best one. Even then, there could be all sorts of reasons. And she said, no, something's up.
The casting was pretty strange. We're looking at the list like, why don't I know any of these names?
Practically every kid who got a part was new that year.
When Kenosha would get too excited, she would lose her skill of imitating. So I started to hear, like, and she hung up the phone, and I was worried something might happen.
Oh yeah, I was volunteering for tech, and then Kenosha comes marching in. And she started to make some sort of announcement, but then she didn't. She started to, make beeping noises.
That was a panic attack.
She fell down hard on one one knee and she couldn't breathe. She actually crawled out of the room.
When a person tells a story over and over again, it gets a performance aspect to it. They subconsciously lean into the things that get more attention and lean into those aspects of the story the more they tell it. A story doesn't get so much memorized as it does effort.
She said, I'm going to tell you a story. Please just listen.
She said, please just listen.
Please just listen. Yesterday, I made out of school by hitting my left knee.
My left knee.
Right here. So I couldn't go very fast.
I also had to walk home on the highway as long as I faced the traffic. And I looked behind me, and suddenly there were 3 people way back, and I knew I had to get away from them.
There's this big strip of forest between the highway and the Walmart. And before I jump in, I look again, and they were way closer. The forest is deep, but I cut through it all the time.
The forest is deep, but I cut through it all the time. So I figured I'd have an advantage. But when I looked back, I got so scared.
When I looked back, I got so scared, because they turned it right after me. They wanted me in the forest, and they were fast.
All of a sudden, I hear this sound. Crazy loud.
The loudest thing I've ever heard. Ever.
I can't tell where it's coming from. I'm shaking.
I ran.
I ran faster than I could see. I looked back once, and this was the thing that scared me more than anything ever. One by one, their eyes lit up.
Which I know sounds crazy.
I could hear music ahead of me. I remembered there was a carnival, a mini carnival for kids, just in the Walmart parking lot. Just some bumper cars and a tilt-a-whirl. I could hear the 7-year-old screaming as they came down the dip of the kiddie coaster.
All I needed was to get to them.
But I looked back.
And there were 3 pairs of lit up eyes.
There were 2.
Where's the other one?
And I have to choose. Do I try to make it to the parking lot carnival? Do I try to hide in the forest? I know I'm close. But for some reason, the scariest idea is that I almost make it. That I'm just a few feet away from safety and the third one's wave grabs me.
And I can't do it. I can't go on. People don't naturally look up because we don't have any predators in it. So I start climbing a tree.
I start climbing a live oak.
A live oak, and halfway up I freeze. The 2 of them get to me, and then the 3rd one does, and they don't see me, even though they bite the ground with their eyes.
They start to argue.
We have an argument about whose fault it was. Then 2 of them grab the 3rd, and he starts to scream, please, no! They hold his head, and he whispers something in his ear. He whispers it, but I hear completely clear. Then after he says it, the 3rd one starts crying, and then he falls over dead onto the roots of the tree. He falls over dead, and what he whispers is, he falls over dead, and what he whispers is, can I tell you a secret?
Kenosha, can you focus for just a little bit longer here? You said their eyes lit up. Could those have been flashlights? No, I know the difference. Have you ever heard of anyone whose eyes lit up? No? And what about the footprints? The police followed your tracks, but they only ever found yours. They erased them. The police followed the map you gave them, but there was no body there. They moved it. And what about that noise? That noise that sounded like it was coming from everywhere? It was a foghorn. There are no foghorns within 200 miles. It was a foghorn.
Foghorns are an example of a duotone, things that mean different things in different contexts. For example, in the distance, a foghorn can sound public. They're safe, but if it's too close, it's too loud, it's terrible. If they're too close, it's too late.
After the story in the woods, Kenosha started to act strange. Like, she won't go to the south wing where the theater is. Won't go at all, not even to the chem labs. And I'd say, Kenosha, you're putting your entire chem grade in jeopardy. But she won't go anywhere near that theater.
She started to talk bad about the play. She pulled me aside and said, the play's like a melody. I had no idea what she meant.
She told me the play would be like a sick dog, only
she had time to go to class. She talked with over a quarter of the school.
She pulled me aside and said, I don't think we should go to the play. Let's play charades that night.
We should have a movie night.
She said, please, please, please don't go to the play. I said, Kenosha, I'm in the play.
Kenosha was so scared to go to the play, but of course she ended up going. She thought she could save those people. I'm sorry. My brain, it has an anchor right here. It weighs down my thoughts and I can't see through.
Please, I'd like you more than water.
Kenosha told everyone she met that the play was going to end in horror. I knew she couldn't lie, and I still didn't believe her.
Email from Mary and Jade, Gwendolyn H. October 4th. 3 days before Mary and Jade was found dead in his study.
Paradox are perfect replicas of people. These things pass for human everywhere. They mimic our emotions, and the only person who was ever able to detect a paradox was someone who was mimicking emotions herself. It was a girl who disappeared. Kenosha.
Email from Mary and Jade, Gwendolyn H. October 5th. 2 days before Mary and Jay's death.
Miss H, please respond to me. When Paradox attack, it's 99.9% fatal. Like rabies. Once you're attacked, you have up to 2 weeks before your heart stops. But it's going to stop. In the whole history of the time this has been happening, there's only ever been one survivor.
I was still working the slush pile. There was only one person who knew what happened in the theater that night, and if I wanted to talk to her, I was going to need an angle. I marched into Sergeant Brock's office without knocking and said, "Let me talk to the girl."
I said the girl is useless.
She said 4 words to that fireman, which doesn't make sense.
She wanted out of there.
What if what she said was 4 words? She was trying to tell him about something that someone had said. Let me talk to the girl. I can get those 4 words.
The theater was heavy and warm, like a greenhouse. There was 241 bodies, but they had put IV tubes into all of them, so the IV bags went up to here. And that's what you noticed first. It was actually kind of beautiful because the theater was dark and those bags glowed.
Ethan came to me and he said, I want to take some time off.
He said, I'm sorry, I need all hands on deck right now.
Ethan said, and he choked up. He said, I know these people. I love these people.
I wanted to help out in the theater, see if I could figure out what the noises were that those bodies were making. He said, nobody can hear those noises except for you.
And he said, that's why they need me.
Manashap Psychiatric Facility, stabilization 4, October 21st at 9:30 a.m.
May I come in? I'll stay over here. My name is Gwendolyn Page. I'm one of the people who's trying to figure out what happened in the theater that night. Does that security camera bother you? It shouldn't. The camera's just there in case if something went wrong, which it won't. Then they can look at it to see what happened. I feel like I know you. Everybody I've talked to, everybody, when I mention your name, their whole voice bubbles up. They talk about your soccer and your sense of humor and that CPR class you organized. Right now, a lot of people need your help. Whatever went wrong with the oak box, it's still going on. I have this theory about what you said to the fireman. He heard 4 words, but I think what you said was 4 words. Could you tell me which of those it was? I have something I want to ask you.
You stay away from me.
No, you stay away! No! Help me! Help!
Theater camera 1, October 25th, 2:45 a.m.
Anyways, Ellie, I'll be back to find you soon. Miss Mel, it's Ephraim's house. I was in your 8th grade trigonometry class 14 years ago. I'm here to make sure you're safe and comfortable, but that's not all. I know you can hear me, and I think you're making sounds. You and everyone else in the city. If you can make a noise, I'll hear you. I have great hearing. Try it for me. The hero in your math class was the same year those midterms got stolen off your desk before your attempt to grade it. Make a noise if you remember that. For me, it's a nice memory. I was one of the 6 kids who had that period free, and instead of making me a suspect, you deputized me. I was new to the school and nervous, and I never told you how much that meant to me, to be trusted like that. That whole experience shaped how I wanted to be, and it's part of the reason I fight fires. So, I wanted to tell you, I did steal those tests. Hey, you made a noise! Did you guys hear that?
Quiet.
Do it again, just one more time.
You've got to keep your voice down.
They can hear us!
Manachak Psychiatric Facility, Stabilization Room 4.
Thank you for seeing me again.
Answer every question in pause more than a second and kick you out. What's the book you read in high school English?
Hamlet.
15 seconds from your life.
Born and raised in Indiana, wanted to be an artist, so I moved to New York. It didn't work out, but I met my husband. We moved here so I could pursue law enforcement. My daughter's in 3rd grade.
6 times 8.
48.
What's your biggest fear?
No leads.
What's the secret?
What secret?
Tell me the secret, or I kick you out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was 4 words.
4 words. 4 words that someone in the theater said that night. Yes?
Yes.
What were the words? You don't even have to say them. You could write them down or whisper them as soft as you want.
I'm too scared.
There's nothing here that can hurt you. Who said the words? Male or female?
Female?
Adult or student?
An adult.
What were the words?
I'll tell you next time.
Tell me the first word. Give me just the first word.
The.
The. The first word is the. Thank you.
Theater Camera 3.
And there are these scientists in Guangzhou, China, that have this therapy that teams up in coma patients. It's a machine and it's so huge, they put it on a cargo plane that's already flying over across the Pacific. And there's this group in Cape Town that have these drops that'll go in your eye and simulate brain function. And all over the world in all different ways, people are praying for you.
Ethan,
Captain Donovan.
I have bad news. The EEG results came back. None of the bodies show brain function.
No brain function they can measure.
It would register.
You're not a scientist. What if whatever happens to them hides brainwaves?
That's not possible.
This is impossible.
They're breathing, but they're as good as dead.
Then why are they making noises?
Nobody hears those noises but you.
Because I have great hearing.
Or is it because you want to hear
I hear them.
Don't yell at me.
Sorry.
It's not good for you to be here so much.
It gives me strength.
When was the last time you slept?
I need to sleep. They're sleeping for me.
That doesn't make any sense. I don't want to lose you too.
Fine. I'll sleep.
Manachak Psychiatric Facility, Stabilization Room 4.
Angela? It's me again. I brought you something. I hear you're good, and I brought sheet music if you feel like playing. I'm just gonna set this here. I would love to hear you play, but to do that, I'm gonna have to get close to you, if that's okay with you. I'm just gonna reach my hand back here. I'm gonna. There. Are you alright? You too achy to play something? How about that?
Gymnopenny #1 by Eric Satie. It's famous for being calming, soothing. In Europe, parents play it to calm their children.
Beautiful. Whenever you're ready.
Theater cameras 4 and 6, October 4th, 4 p.m.
Captain Donovan, I figured it out. I know what's going on.
I'm here to escort you out.
No.
Yes, be frank.
I figured it out.
We're worried about you.
Haven't you read that dream? Where something scary is coming towards you, and you can't move, you can't make a sound, but you make these tiny little squeaks that people outside the dream can hear. They're trying to scream their way out.
You know I like you, and I think you respect me,
I do.
but you're not even right behind me.
I'm fine.
I disagree, and I'm ordering you to come with me.
They need me here.
There's no they there anymore.
I can hear them.
The debate now is whether to put them on life or take them off the life support.
No!
The doctors made this
They
decision.
got it wrong.
I need you to come with me,
Or what?
or you're fired.
I don't care about that.
And no department in the country will hire you.
I'll change careers.
2 seconds away from dragging you out of this theater myself.
You're not big enough.
I brought deputies.
I'll slip between the bags.
Get out of this theater right now!
No.
Guys,
There are still people in these bodies. Listen to me. If you can hear me, I need you to know something. I need you to know that you're loved. That this town loves you and God loves you and I love you. I won't let anything happen to you, but please help me. If there's anything you do to reach back, I need you to do it right now. Give me 1% and I'll give you the other 99.
let's go, Ethan. Dear,
I hear it.
I do too.
I hear it too.
They're in there. We're going to help get them out.
We've been over this. Something protected you.
I don't know what.
What was different about that night?
Nothing.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
And the play. You can't remember anything other than those 4 words. The play's not over.
It's all blank. I will tell you.
Angela, the people in that theater are running out of time. I need a favor.
What?
When you get out of here tomorrow, I want you to come with me to the theater.
No.
I'll be right with you.
I can't.
My guess is, when you walk in there, you're gonna remember what happened. Let's go through the performance day one more time.
It was a typical Friday. Math, English, biology, social studies, PE, Toastmasters.
Which you said was after school at the Y.
Yeah.
Are you a good speaker?
No, that's why I'm in Toastmasters. I can't even remember the speech because my head gets all light and it's all fuzzy and I...
Oh, what?
It was my duty to speak. My dad's an internist. He gave me a pill. Inderol. It blocks the adrenaline from taking over so that I can breathe normal.
You took a pill that blocks adrenaline?
No, I took 3.
Fear isn't rational. People wince at scary movies even though they know there's no way anything can come out of the screen to hurt them. If there's anything people should be afraid of, it's theater.
Unsent email from Marion J. The afternoon of his death.
The attack is so simple. The Faranock says, "Can I tell you a secret?" The victim says yes, and that's a mistake because they think of all the scary things that secret could be. The Faranock whispers something. A tiny extension of one of their incisors punctures the ear and drains every bit of adrenaline from the victim's body, and they fall unconscious. These things frighten me. I study them, but I study them from a distance. They're right at the border between the monsters who we pretend scare us and the people who actually do.
Theater cameras 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Final recording.
You can do this.
Who's there?
It's us. The detective. You remember Angela? Preparing for action?
Yeah. Hello. Are you alright?
No.
This place will be a while to get used to.
I know almost every face.
water and nutrients, but soon it's not going to be enough.
Could you leave us alone for just a bit?
Yeah, I'll be back. We're going to be right here.
Do you remember where you were sitting?
Right where I am now.
I want you to take to the days leading up to the There were posters all over the school.
Yeah. They said, don't tell the secret, and then they switched to can I tell you the secret.
Good. Then the last day they changed again. They had the title of the play. Do you remember that?
No,
You don't know the title of the play?
I don't.
It might help to get up on stage. Just come out here with me. You made a phone call from up here. Do you remember that?
No.
What's the last thing you remember about that night?
I was running from the parking lot. I was late because of Toastmasters, but it turns out we didn't have to worry. There was some sort of electrical problem that kept us all in the lobby.
Angela, come up here. I won't let anything happen to you. This is where they found you. I want you to take a deep breath. Now lower your head and close your eyes. On the count of 3, lift your head and open your eyes. 1, 2, 3.
911, what is your emergency?
I'm not sure.
Is it life-threatening?
Yes.
Are you safe right now?
No.
I'm sending someone. More than one. There's cars already on the way. What's your name, Chica?
Angela.
Angela. I'm sending them to the Oak Box. Is that right?
Yes.
And there's a play tonight. The high school's doing a play. Is that where you are?
Yes.
In the theater.
Yes.
And somebody's hurt.
Everybody.
Who's that again? Where are you in the theater?
Just standing on the stage.
Take a very, very deep breath. Hold it.
Angela, what are you thinking about?
The end. Calling for help and knowing it was too late.
I want you to look at something. This is a program from that night. That's the title of the play.
Trap.
What's wrong?
It was right in front of us.
What was?
It should have been obvious. The play was a trap, and it was even called Trap. The play was in sections. 1, a picture of infinity. 2, the oak box. 3, what held them. What held us? Something had happened. In a theater, at a school play. Everybody in the audience had fallen over unconscious.
But what happened in the play? What was the story about?
That is what it was about.
In the play you were watching, people had fallen over unconscious in the theater?
Yes, it was mostly interviews, like a documentary. Everybody had fallen over unconscious except one girl.
And in the play, what happened to them?
Here were these creatures. Things that look human, but they're not. They're called Pharaohs. They attack the audience one by one and then all at once.
That's what happened in the play. But what happened in real life to the people you were with?
Same thing.
No, what made the audience you were with fall unconscious?
Those creatures. They look human, but they're like black widows. They feed on fear.
Those were things in a play. They're not real.
Yes, they are.
I promise they're not.
They confuse people. The play is about all the things that are about to happen to us, so that when it started, we wouldn't know what was real and what wasn't.
Creatures who feed on fear and put on plays, it's ridiculous.
Sounding ridiculous is how they hide.
Even if those things were real, they're not here now. Take a very, very deep breath. Hold it.
You stay away from me.
What's wrong?
No, who's here? Who's in the theater?
I think we're okay. Should we leave?
No, I'm sorry. I just got a little freaked out, that's all.
This person can do that to you. Do you want me to stay?
Yes, please, for a little while.
Tell me more about the creatures.
In the final section of the play, which was also called Trap, creatures started to attack.
Attack the audience?
Yeah.
How did they do that?
One of the girls in the play, she went down into the audience. She was narrating what she was doing. She stopped in front of the boy and asked a question. Can I tell you a secret? She leaned down. The audience saw nothing of it because he was looking in the program and saw the boy. and she walked over to a girl.
Did the same thing. Can I tell you a secret? When the girl nodded, she leaned down and
There was something we couldn't understand. If a Paradox attack is dependable on anxiety, why were these people falling over? They knew it wasn't real, so they should have been safe. But what they were afraid of wasn't death. It was that one of the actors would come up and whisper in their ear. They had stage fright, which, as it turns out, is just as fatal as the fear of death.
By the time she got to me, I was scared, but when she leaned down, nothing happened.
You've taken Neanderthals.
Yeah,
How many people had fallen over by then?
a lot.
Why wouldn't somebody have just left?
Well, they thought it was part of the play. Somebody's cell phone had gone off, and we looked at the river, and there was his cell phone back. Can I tell you a secret? Stop! Please stop the play, please!
What's that?
My name is Kenosha R. Silverling Johnson. Everybody listen up. In a calm and orderly manner, please leave the theater. You have to leave for your own safety. There's a child trapped in the car, so you're gonna have to leave to make sure that it's not your car. Worst liar in the entire world. Please leave. They think you're part of the play. You're the one playing me.
Yes.
You're not human.
What am I then?
Paradox. You're human, and you're human, and you're human. Please stay away from them. Now will you leave?
They think you're part of the play because you are part of the play.
I'm not.
Then why is your name in the script?
For the program. It's not.
Right here. It says real Kenosha.
That's not real. This is a trick.
There's a part of the play where you're chased in the woods.
You put that in there just in case I came back.
It's in the script.
There is no script.
Right here.
That's not it. This is a trap.
It's a high school play.
The perfect trap where everybody has to come and nobody's allowed to leave. You've only lost a few so far, but that'll change fast. The lights will go out, their eyes will light up, and you hear a crazy loud noise as they start to feed.
There's nothing you can do. They'll get them out of their chairs.
I don't have to get them out of their chairs. I just have to get them food.
Good luck.
Everybody, they're feeding on your stress, so please smile. Relax yourself from the outside in. Now take a huge breath. Do it. I promise you'll not be called on as a part of this play. What's wrong with you? Nothing. Why are you wilting?
We're acting. Stop! I want to tell you a secret.
No.
If you let me tell you the secret, I'll wake up the rest of the audience.
I don't believe you. Your only chance to save them is to believe me.
Can I tell you a secret?
Stop smiling.
Can I tell you a secret? Can I tell you a secret? Can I tell you a secret?
Can I tell you a secret? I took 4 in law. Surprise!
That was the sound I heard that night. The sound of 241 people being freed. The best scream you can imagine.
25 days after the events in the Oak Box began, they came to an end.
My name is Angela Lur, and I survived the Manichap Garnock attack.
My name's Clifton Barnes. I survived being in the play.
Mara Aoki. I'm alive because of Kenosha R. Silverling Johnson.
Kenosha saved my life.
My whole family was in the theater that night.
Thank you, Kenosha.
Thank you,
Thank
Cliff.
you so much.
The people who had been unconscious had no memory of what happened, but it changed them. I published 3 papers.
I got a medal.
I got a promotion.
I got a parade.
I got Kenosha.
For a few weeks last year, the town of Manichap, California became famous, but the fame went away fast. What had happened seemed impossible, and psychologists wrote it off as an example of mass hysteria. People getting scared in a place that already scared them.
I lived through the events, and even I'm not sure. Did it really happen, or was it like that I Am the People? The most scared I'd ever been, and it was just me scaring me.
Oh, they did such a good job. I have some bad news. The play's not over.
The main thing about a trap is it needs to confuse the prey.
Why would a play have a false ending?
What's real, what's not.
Everybody, we're running a few minutes late. We're having a problem with the lights.
The prey is most vulnerable. When it thinks it's escaped.
The spider's not home.
The web. Almost. I'm almost out of the woods.
It was just me scaring me.
Recursion. A high school play about high school play.
An audience being attacked while watching an audience being attacked.
You tell an audience, you're gonna die. And they'll stay in their seats because they don't want to miss it.
All fair dogs are 16 years old.
Except one.
People are naturally scared of the dark.
Can I tell you a